All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk to you about a company called Digihost Technologies, stock ticker DGHI. Digihost is a Bitcoin mining company. They are a very small Bitcoin mining company, but they came out with some very big news today. So I want to go through that and see what is going on with Digihost. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And of course, everybody, please smash the like button. Also, feel free to drop a comment below, and you will see in the pinned comment there is a link to our free Discord. We have over 500 people in there. The base level is free. There's some optional upgrades, so we'd love to have you over there. Let's talk about Digihost. It's late in the trading day on Monday, April 4th. Digihost is currently at $3.70. It's up about 9.5% on the day today. Bitcoin's been drifting down all day. Most of the other miners are having a rough day. Digihost is leading the way right now with a very positive day, and it is because of the press release that they put out. So I want to go right to it and go through their press release. Okay, April 4th, 7 a.m., so that was this morning. Digihost achieves milestone of 1 exahash per second in hash rate and announces a Bitcoin dividend policy. So they've got some really big news. A lot of these Bitcoin miners, almost all of them now, are putting out a monthly operational and mining update talking about how many Bitcoin they mined and what their exahash capacity is. But Digihost has gone pretty far beyond that in this one. So I want to go through everything they said because they hit a lot of different bases here. So I'm going to start with the easy stuff. Production highlights for March 2022. Mined 75.24 Bitcoin during the month, increasing total holdings to 797.47 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $36.3 million as of March 31st. And that's based on a Bitcoin price of $45,500. So the first thing I want to look at is this 75.24 Bitcoin, because that is a drastic increase month over month. So I'm going to go to last month's press release. This was for February Bitcoin mining results. The company mined approximately 50.85. So they went from just under 51 to over 75. So that's nearly a 50% increase in their mining month over month. Never mind year over year. So that's a drastic increase, and I want to go up and we'll show you why that happened. Okay, they say throughout the first quarter of 2022, the company continued to make progress on the deployment of the 10,600 M30S and M30S Plus miners we acquired last year. With more than half of these miners currently in operations, we have more than doubled our hash rate from 415 petahash at the year-end 2021. They've gotten themselves up to 1 exahash, so they've more than doubled already just in the first quarter of this year. So this is a drastic improvement, and you can see it's led to a dramatic increase in the amount of Bitcoin mined in the month of March, almost a 50% month-over-month increase. They go on to say they're at 1 exahash, which at today's network difficulty equates to approximately 4.25 coins per day on a run rate of over 120 coins mined per month. So they just mined 75, and based on the amount that they ramped up over the month, they're anticipating potentially 120 next month. So that would be another gigantic leap. So they will potentially go from 50 mined in February to maybe over 100, maybe 120 mined in April if they stay on this plan. Then they say this: I am also pleased to announce to our shareholders that Digihost has adopted a new dividend policy pursuant to which the company expects to declare future dividends that will be based upon our net income. Dividends under the new policy will be payable in either Bitcoin or cash. It is expected the first dividend will be 10% of net income. So to my knowledge, this is unprecedented among Bitcoin miners. I'm not exactly sure how I even feel about this, because this sector is a very, very high growth sector, and it's a very cash intensive sector. So as a business model, I would almost prefer that they would keep their cash and invest it in more Bitcoin mining machines versus giving out a dividend. However, it does attract a whole different segment of investors once you start giving out dividends. So we'll have to see what the ramifications of that are, but I believe this would be the first company to do that. You can drop a comment below if you know another Bitcoin miner that's giving out dividends at all, and if they're doing it in Bitcoin. But they're not done. They then go on to say, additionally, to avoid unnecessary dilution to our shareholders, the company will begin to monetize a portion of the Bitcoin mined to fund the company's operating costs and SG&A expenses, thereby removing the need to access equity markets in order to fund these costs. They're talking about their operating costs. There's two sources of capital these Bitcoin miners require. One, to run operations. That's actually the smaller amount of cash. So if they were to use their Bitcoin to fund that, it would not drain their supply. The larger amount of money they need is for capital expenditures, i.e. Bitcoin mining machines and facilities to store them and things of that nature. So those are the big bucks that are required. Now, they already addressed that about a month ago. On March 4th, they put out a press release. Digihost establishes US $250 million at-the-market equity program to accelerate growth. So this was a month ago. So this news has already been digested. So now what they're saying is we're going to buy our equipment with this at-the-market offering. And that's going to allow us to grow the company so that we can continue to compete, because growth of your exahash mining capacity is critical right now. These companies need to at least keep up with the difficulty level, and they really should be growing at a pace significantly faster than the pace the difficulty level is growing if they want to grow their business. So this is $250 million at-the-market offering. To put it in perspective, if we go back and look, with today's action, they are only just now crossing $100 million in market cap. So they have a $100 million market cap. They have a $250 million at-the-market offering. Now expect that they will grab that judiciously over time as needed, and hopefully as the stock price continues to increase, so as to not to dilute themselves into submission. But I believe the market also thinks that as well, because although Digihost did dip on that news a month ago, it has fully recovered back to its price prior to that news. Then they say Digihost is also pursuing opportunities to leverage its existing asset base to finance future infrastructure and equipment expansion through debt financing. So this is a new option that's becoming available to these Bitcoin miners. A year ago, this was not an option. Nobody was lending the Bitcoin miners any money really at any interest rate. That has changed. These companies are continuing to potentially access more money at more reasonable rates. So Digihost is putting that on the table as well. They're going to pursue and see if maybe they can borrow some money. So they will use their Bitcoin that they mine. They will use a small portion of that to fund day-to-day operations. They have an at-the-market offering to fund equipment, and they're also going to try to borrow some money to fund equipment as to minimize the amount of dilution to the stock. So that is an awful lot in one monthly press release. Remember, this is not a quarterly report. This is just their monthly update. So clearly, the knee-jerk reaction to this has been extremely positive, and that is my reaction as well. These are some major updates. I like the direction they're going all the way around. A lot of companies are starting to break their habit of this 100% HODL position. And the companies that have been breaking that mold are the ones whose stocks seem to be doing better. So if they want their stock price to go up so that they can get more value out of their at-the-market offering, I think this is a good strategy for them. The potential dividend, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure that makes sense for this company at this time. However, it's not a huge amount of dollars, and it may attract some different investor types. Let's take a look at the chart and see what's going on with Digihost. Full disclosure, I have a position in Digihost. I have held this position, I think, for over a year. So I'm not adding to the position, but I do have a reasonable position in this company. This is the Digihost chart on the 1-day time frame. So each one of these candles represents 1 day. I've got several different lines on here. So I have this green line right here. This dates all the way back to December 28th. This was basically a descending line of resistance. So you can see it started on December 28th, and it basically lasted so far all year 2022 until just last week. Since it closed above this line, it has used this as support ever since. And you'll see it has come down and retested this, and it just did that. And now today, obviously, it's having a very big up day, up around 9% at the moment. So what was resistance looks like it's now support. So that's the first good sign, in my opinion, for this company. The second thing that they're facing is this line at $4. Since this downward trajectory, they've popped over this a couple of times, but the last time was February 15th, and they have not gotten above this $4 mark since then. In my opinion, this company is oversold, and I think it's very oversold. Again, please remember, this is not financial advice. This is my opinion, and I do hold this stock. So please do your own due diligence and come up with your own decision at the end of the day as to whether or not this meets your investment criteria. For me, I'm looking at a string of very good press releases, very good operational updates. They're increasing their exahash rate on a regular basis fairly substantially. In fact, they've doubled it so far already this year, and they expect that to continue. Again, they have a $250 million at-the-market offering to buy new machines and facilities. So I think we can expect to see them to continue to grow the company. Hopefully they will do that wisely, buying the latest and greatest reliable machines at a reasonable price. They have a chance to continue this growth rate on their exahash, and their growth rate has been substantial. This blue line right here is January 5th. So that was their high on the year this year for 2022. And what I want to point out is on January 5th, Bitcoin was at around 45,500. Well, right now Bitcoin's at 45,500. So to me, a company that has, since this day, January 5th, they have doubled their exahash rate. Their production's up 50% month over month from February to March, and yet their stock lags behind dramatically. Just to get back to where they were on January 5th, and again, they're double the size company that they were on that day, and Bitcoin is the same price that it was, that would represent a 35% increase in the price of this stock. That's pent up in the price right now. I expect this 35% to come back as long as Bitcoin remains healthy over the next few weeks or months. I would expect to recapture this at a bare minimum. On November 9th, this stock was trading at almost $8 a share. That is the same day that Bitcoin hit its all-time high of $69,000. If Digihost was to get back to that level, that would represent a 116% increase in the price of this stock. I think that is a very realistic one-year price target in my opinion. And again, please remember, this is not financial advice, but I'm looking at this as a reasonable price target because remember, since November, Digihost doubled its exahash rate to 415 and then has more than doubled it again to 1 exahash. They're 5 times the exahash they were when they were at their all-time high. So I think it's extremely reasonable. Even if Bitcoin does not retest its all-time high, it seems to me that as long as it remains healthy, Digihost has a very good chance of revisiting or beating its all-time previous high. That's what's going on with Digihost. A lot of new information, a lot of good news from them. So again, please invest carefully, and also please don't forget to smash the like button. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.